I'm Carrie Downey. You're running for mayor.
I am.
Pressing issues, many in Coronado, of course. To me, one of them is traffic, and the other one, most of all, is density. And this is my story. Billy boxes are being built it's going to look like Newport Beach pretty soon, the way they're being built. The rapidity, and the way they're being built. There's not an inch left, and most of the people who are building them now are not even from here. They buy them for spec, they rent them out, and the first thing they do is they make the garage into another unit so they can. Would you be doing something about that or thinking about that kind of thing?
Absolutely. Parking has been the issue I've worried about for the last couple of years. We just passed on Tuesday, based on a recommendation we had years ago from some of our builders, and I've been pushing to require one of the two mandatory spots in the small lots to be open so that they can't store stuff in it. So people have one enclosed parking space so they can store bikes or what have you. The other one, though, has to be completely open so they will park their cars there. It's
Right.
one spot off the street. A car will always be able to park.
How do we enforce this?
Anybody that takes a building permit after November 1st has to comply with this. They have got to have at least one unenclosed spot.
Now, what about all the other units, all the Billy boxes that are not using their buildings for parking, and some of them have turned their garage into a little extra unit?
There is a discussion about all over the island whether you're in a 25 by 140 lot, a 40 by 140, or a 50 by 140, that you're supposed to have currently two enclosed parking spots, or three in some zones. And the question is going to be, and the voters and the residents are going to have to think about this, do we want to have more government oversight of the parking than we do now? Right now, when you build one is when we check your regs, make sure you're building according to the code, and the new code requires somebody to have an unenclosed parking spot. But we would have to decide as a community, and I think it's a community issue, whether we actually want to have an enforcement officer checking to see what people are doing. It's possible when someone comes in for an alteration permit, or they want to do something, that might be the time to have an enforcement officer come and make sure you haven't converted your garage to another living unit or a studio or something other than parking.
So now, you've been working 10 years already here in the community.
I've lived here 22 years, but I've been your elected representative 10 of those years.
So you know actually all the details of what we're talking about here.
Yes, I do.
You're not a novice here.
No.
So tell me how this finally did get to come to fruition. Was it because of the city council?
Yes and no. We heard the community wanted more restrictions on the bulk and mass of buildings, so we empowered a third, what's known as Residential Standard Improvement Program Committee. We tasked them with coming back and being aggressive, finding ways to help our residents from all these big building and the bulk and mass. They incorporated one of the ideas I've been trying to push for years, which is to require an unenclosed parking space in all new development. And because the committee, made up of residents as well as architects and experts, said, yes, this is a good thing for the community. And when they came forward with it, the council said, we're going to support that. And that's what happened last Tuesday.
But only when there was a mix. If it was left to the city council, it never happened, did it?
Well, we couldn't just leave it to the city council because we are changing
No, I mean
the
in the
building.
past.
In the past, we did not adopt it on our own.
Right.
It was suggested, but we were told the current code didn't allow for it, so we just changed the code. That's what the city council did.
So it is a mix of the citizens, the engineers, and the council.
That's
not
right.
one body alone. And
Everybody working together to understand what would be better for our community.
so this formula would also work on my major problem, which is Third and Orange. I call it ground zero, traffic.
We've actually been trying to do that. We empowered a committee made up of all of our citizens, known as the Transportation Commission. They've come up with recommendations. We've adopted, we said we agree with a great many of them. We have forwarded them to Caltrans. Some are ready to begin this year. They're in our capital improvement budget. It has taken a while, but that is the citizen committee that came up with these recommendations. So we are working on it. We've scheduled the money in the capital improvement project list. We're just waiting for the engineers from Caltrans to agree they're safe.
No, I think you should run for mayor.
Thank you very much. I am.